Even though we talk about technology, we talk about IoT, we talk about AI, robotics, the fact is people will continue eating. There's no replacement for food. Welcome to the Afrobiz Hustle 101 show. We are super excited to have you today. Today is episode 1. My name is Paul Luima, aka Jerome LP, aka the Hustle Master. I'm going to be your host for this particular segment, and I'm super excited to be with you today. In this episode, we are going to focus on anything and everything hustle, anything and everything small business, anything and everything founders, entrepreneurs, craft makers, and creative makers. And we want to be able to transform Uganda, Africa, and all even the Africans in the diaspora to see that, they elevate themselves from the business front. So in 2024 and beyond, we believe we wanted to spotlight what are those top 7 business ideas that you should, think about as an African, as a Ugandan, as an African in the diaspora. Those are the things that we're going to talk about in this particular segment. But before I go there, I just want to talk about myself, right? Being that this is the first episode. Myself, I've been as well a hustle master in a way. I've done a number of crafts, I've done a number of hustles. I have failed at very many of them as well. I remember my first business, I was 21 or 22, where I started a decoration business, having gotten mentorship from a very aggressive Kenyan lady who really mentored me and showed me how to hustle. So I started a business, I remember the name, I think it was Potential Decorators. We used to have even a display area in a supermarket called John Rich in Kabalagala. I think actually the supermarket is still there, but I've equally done a number of things. I've done, money lending, I've done real estate, I've done music, right? I've also done saloon business, which I'm still in right now. But all those definitely have given me some good experiences. Even the ones that I failed at, those were, that was school fees that I paid for the experiences. So for me to talk about this, I'm very passionate about the hustle. I'm passionate about businesses. I'm passionate about youth, starting their own craft, being able to be, job creators in African context. So here's the reason why I think I'm very passionate about this show. In my experience, in my realm of experience, I have been able to come up with some formula that I use right now for me to venture into any business, right? Having, like I said, hit some walls and failed, I have decided now an approach on how to go about businesses. And I want to take you through that because that's going to be the foundation of us going into the top 7, right? So I gave it a name, so I call it IVM, Idea Viability Matrix. So my Idea Viability Matrix basically has 5 pillars. And in those 5 pillars, we'll go through them quickly. Definitely by the time you go through them, you will know that this is the business or this is not the business, right? So the 5 pillars go, first of all, it's money. So the capital injection and investment, the initial capital investment that you are intending to put into this business, is it low? Is it high? You might find you have the high, but when the other things don't check through, you definitely have to discard that business. But if it's low, maybe you say, this is money I can easily give away in this particular context. So you find that this is money maybe under your low risk radar that you can be able to easily give away. The second is a skill set. Is it a simple skill set or is it a complex skill set? Let me give an example. You want to start a pharmacy. Are you a pharmacist or you want to hire someone who's going to run that very show, right? So basically looking at that in that particular realm, do you have the skill set? Are you going to hire someone? Is it a simple skill set? Is it a complex skill set? You need to be able to look at that so that you don't get hit hard when you actually start and you've pumped in money. The third, which is also equally very important, is time. Now, time is the biggest friend that we have in life. However, it's the most scarce resource that we have on our hands as well. So the lag between you starting the business and earning a revenue is so important to understand, right? And earning a revenue doesn't mean profitability, right? Those are two different things. However, revenue gets you closer to profitability. So the faster you get to start earning revenue, the better for you to start now, making profit and as well breaking even from your business. So the fourth pillar, which is also equally important, is ROI. Now, ROI is simple: return on investment. Okay? Return on investment simply means what I've put in, what I've gotten out, and that margin, right? So if I put in $10,000 or say $10 and I'm earning $15, basically the difference is $5. So I'm making a margin of 5, which is about 50% of my investment. So that is a good return. That's a very decent return. Okay. So when you look at ROI, you might find I've put in little money, like I've just given an example of $10 and I earn $5 of it, or I've put in $1,000 and I'm earning $10. That is very small a margin that you get. That's like 1%, right? So in 1%, is that worth your time? Is that worth your effort? Is that worth the risk as well? Maybe not. So you have to look at the ROI very well so that you just don't pour money and the money goes away and sinks in there and you don't gain anything from it. The last pillar, which is equally so important, is the risk. Now, risk in everything we do, there's a risk. Even waking up, there's a risk. Even sitting here, there's a risk, right? So we just have to look at the magnitude of the risk that you're dealing with. Is it low? Is it high? And if it's high, do you have a mitigant? Can you be able to, work around it? If you can, well and good. If you can't, please walk away from that business because you're going to throw away your money and you'll be depressed afterwards. So those are the 5 key pillars in my IVM model that I look out for. Please, in the comment section, we'll definitely drop a template that we can, you can be able to download and be able to do a test on your business ideas as you go along. So like I said, money, skill set, time, ROI, and risk. Those are very critical pillars for me, and they have now saved me from some failures that I would have potentially gotten into. So having looked at the IVM and put it outside, now I think it's time for us to look at the top 7 businesses that I believe we should be able to do in 2024 and beyond. And quick disclaimer, these are based on my opinion, my research and experiences, that I believe that these are the top 7 businesses that you should embark on in 2024 and beyond. So the first business that I think about that comes to mind as number 1 is street food vending business. Now, street food vending business is a multi-million-dollar business across globally. What is critical to note is that even though we talk about technology, we talk about IoT, we talk about AI, robotics, the fact is people will continue eating. There's no replacement for food, right? So we will always eat. I think I'm a bit hungry, but people will always eat at any one time, right? So, and as the world gets busy, people are on the go, people are working odd hours, people are working at night, they no longer have time to cook by themselves. Hence the reason why the food vending business becomes an important opportunity for us to think about. Now, some of the different worlds we've walked in, we're seeing people are even setting up things like food vending machines, which sell things like candy, burgers, soft drinks and the like. However, in the African context, some of these may not have reached in terms of technology, but there's still opportunities in our context. I'll start from the motherland, Uganda. We have an opportunity. There is the Rolex business. Now, the Rolex business is a delicacy. Rolex is a delicacy in the Ugandan environment. Rolex is simply a chapati with a well-done egg and some tomatoes. Some people would prefer nyanya mbisi. Nyanya mbisi means specifically, raw cut, tomatoes, right? And rolled, packaged very well, and then, sold. So most people just display and, think that business will scale. However, they don't see results and they wonder why. A touch of professionalism is so important on any business that you do. So if you do a stall for Rolex, put a branding properly, professionalize your staff, give them maybe an apron, a cap, so that they are properly done. And if you can put a simple packaging for your customers, that differentiates you from the other competitors that you have. The other, maybe I can quickly talk about under the food vending, we have the popcorn business. Now, the popcorn business is an interesting one, and I made a resolution that 2024, I'm going to set up a popcorn chain across Kampala and see how that model works. It's a very simple one, like the way you see the Rolex business, which you can easily set up and scale. It checks out all the 5 pillars. Definitely the money is low because you just need the popcorn making machine, you need to buy the raw materials and the different flavors, and have a very good location. Location is critical, and then be able to professionalize your staff and the branding and ensure that you start selling. Now, with popcorn, you do about what? You can sell between 3,000 to 6,000 depending on where you're selling from, which is about $1 or $2 in there. And depending on the churn that you have out, you can be able to make out your capital by end of the first month. It's another good business. Now, when we look at time, you also earn immediately when you set it up. In terms of ROI, the margins look good, and then the risk is the same. Internal fraud, which you can mitigate with monitoring processes and tools that you can put in. The second one that I can easily talk about is the micro lending business. Lending is the oldest business that we have in history. Even in the Bible, they talk about lending. So lending is another big opportunity that you can take advantage of. You don't have to start with billions of shillings. You can even start with as low as $1,000 to start lending. What is important to note is that with lending, if you're starting with $1,000, you have to be mindful on the ticket sizes that you lend out to people. You can't lend out $500 when you have $1,000 as your capital, because if that person defaults, you are in trouble, my friend, right? So it's important to, if you have $1,000, at least give out maybe bare minimum $50 per person, just to make sure, and also be mindful about the tenors. People shouldn't take a loan if you have a low capital more than 1 month. So lend out, roll over, and ensure that you make good use of this capital. Now, in terms of initial capital, definitely, like I said, even $1,000, you can start with this. In terms of the skill set, very easy. I've given you $10, I need 15, meaning my margin is 5. As simple as that. So it's easy. The skill set is very easy to manage, so long as you have a tracker and a financial management tool that you can use. You can even use Excel sheets for managing the financials. Now, number 3, in terms of time, you lend today. Depending on the cycle, you can lend for a day, you can lend for a week, you can lend for a month. In terms of earning back, it's easy and fast. Then when we talk about ROI, the ROI is very good as well. In terms of return, the margins are very good. It's a very good, lucrative business. And then the last is risk. Now, for lending business, this is a high risk business, right? Remember, I talked about low and high. This is a very high risk business. However, what is important to note is that there are mitigants for this type of business. How? You are able to put a security to the people you're lending to, so that you have a fallback position. You can have guarantors to make sure that at least you ring fence. You can also, for the African context, if you're lending to non-salaried people, let's say you're in a market, you're lending to women who buy every day, you can make them do group loans, right? They borrow small monies because they're buying raw material, and then they sell, and then they have your revenue back, and also make the cycles much shorter. Now, the last note I want to make on this particular one is, please, as a disclaimer, do not lend to family members and do not lend to friends. Disaster. Please don't. You'll thank me later for that one. But it's a very lucrative business. It's a business you can grow from $1,000 to even maybe $20,000, $50,000. I am a testimony. I started my business with about maybe 7 million. At certain time, I grew it to a very big amount till I divested and sold it out. So that is an opportunity, I believe, that you can take out in 2024 and beyond. Now, let's go to business number 3, mobile car detailing and washing opportunity. Now, This is a multi-million dollar project business as well globally. We've seen in the Western world people are making millions of shillings off this. In the African setting and in Uganda, yes, some people are making, but more of these are stationed washing bays, right? Where someone has to drive the car and put it there. Now, the concept I'm talking about is having a mobile washing solution. Right? There's a lot of opportunity now from the apartments. There are many apartments sprouting out. People have malls are sprouting out. You have offices where people don't have even time to, go out and drive their cars for washing. If you can professionalize yourself properly, have your business cards, go and have these conversations either at the malls, the apartments, depending on how their schedules are, you can be able to actually have this as a very lucrative business. You don't have to do it yourself. You can have some boys or girls that can help you out to do the washing. Just what you need to do is properly put a professional spin on it. And then what you need to do as well is to do a background check with the staff that you're using, because if you're going into people's apartments, you don't want theft cases and then they are, pointing back to your brand. You don't need to do that. So you just be careful about the stuff that you carry along for this particular business. The next type of business that I believe you can be able to think about in 2024 and beyond is the home and office cleaning and designing services, right? What do I mean by designing services? So things like maybe landscaping, lawn mowing, a bit of interior designing. There is still an opportunity in this particular business when because of a number of things. Now, as you all know, maids have become a necessary evil, for lack of a better word. Most people do not want to have now live-in maids because of the issues that they come along with. And some maybe have opted to do live-outs, but there are others who just don't want that mess and stress, right? So which poses a very big opportunity for you to, optimize in this particular space. What you do is, again, you professionalize yourself. You target the same locations like apartments, the suburbs, and some offices definitely need this service. And you can put some of these businesses on retainer, whereby maybe you clean once a week or once a month or once a quarter, and be able to have repeat business and recurring business end to end, right? This is a very good opportunity. You don't need to start with a lot. All you need to have is, definitely the moppers, the buckets, the cleaning materials, the towels, and the soap that definitely does the good job, and a simple training for some of your staff to ensure that they do a good job. The number 5 business idea that I believe you should be able to look at for in 2024 and beyond is mobile catering services. Now, like I talked about in the beginning, food will never go away. We will always eat. Most people are doing parties, they're doing get-togethers, they're doing gatherings, and they need someone who brings a good touch of flavor to their table for them to be able to enjoy the party. So people are doing either birthday parties, people are doing baby showers, people are doing housewarming, people are doing the barbecues, office parties, end of year parties, name them. But all these people are looking for someone who can give them a good touch of food. There's a lot of opportunity here in terms of mobile food catering. I want to also go to the next one, which is content creation. Content creation, because I'm also doing the same, right? So content creation is another big opportunity that I believe we need to take advantage of. This is a multi-million dollar business globally. We have seen many people break the bank with this type of business, earning millions of dollars on this particular, depending on the channels and the niche that they are in. But from an African setting, it is still a growing trend, right? We have seen some people who are making some money. We have seen the ghetto kids. We have seen people like Vusi. We have seen some of the Nigerians making some good money on this one, but there's a lot of opportunity. People are craving for information. People are craving for opportunity to learn. People are craving for knowledge. And this is the medium that we can do right now with the technology that has, given us this opportunity. So content creation, all you need is a camera or your phone. If you don't have a camera, your phone is just enough for you to start the content creation. What is so important is to carve out your niche. You can't be everything. carve out your niche, ensure that you have really well researched on this niche, and as well ensure that you're consistent. Because people, when you get a group of people who are interested in your niche, you need to feed them this information. Be consistent, have a niche, and don't deviate from your niche. I believe you and me, you will definitely be able to increase your following. You'll be able to increase your subscribers and views. Having said that as well, please subscribe on the channel and ensure you have clicked the like button and as well the notification button, so that we keep on giving you these videos to ensure that we grow the channel and as well grow the subscribers. So going back to the point, when you go into the model, money, very low cost. All you need is internet to upload your content, and then be consistent about it. And then when you look at the time, it's a bit medium for this one, because you don't earn immediately. For places like YouTube, definitely they have an algorithm that you have to meet. So you have to have a certain number of subscribers and a certain number of views for you to start earning. But when you get into the earning bracket, definitely then you start making some good revenue from the channel. Then lastly, in terms of risk, low risk. Why is that we record, you edit, and by the time you put your content up, you're sure that's the content you want to do. So there's low risk on this particular one. So let's go to number 7. Now, number 7 is professional consulting services. Now, everyone, and I mean everyone, not those only who have PhDs and masters and all accreditations. Everyone has a skill that they know and they have mastered. It's either football, coaching, basketball, cooking, boxing, name it. And guess what? People are looking to learn. People are craving for information. And with technology, this even makes it much better. It means that you can, pass on those skills to anyone across, even globally, right? Now, what do I mean? Is that what you need to do, set up a program, maybe come up with a plan that you need to, craft and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It can be a physical training, it can be an online training, and you'll be able to, pass on these skills. But as you're taking the skills to these people, you commercialize. There has to be an element of money, and you use that to be able to make some money. In addition to this particular business or idea is very broad. Many people are doing it. Let me give an example. So in Uganda, we have brokers who are, either have a house and they have a buyer. This side, brokerage services are consulting services, right? So that is another opportunity that you can easily look at and ensure that you commercialize. Now, to start this, you don't need any money because you're benchmarking on your skill set that you have already. So all you need to do is have, either business cards that you've set up, come up with a planner, come up with programs that you want to do, and also those programs that you want to people to enroll for, so that you commercialize, right? That's a big opportunity that you need to tap into in this particular space. Now, when you look at the money element, it's low to start. When you look at the skill set, you're benchmarking on the skills that you have, so there's no additional cost on you on the skill set. Number 3, when you look at the time, depending on what you're training or which consulting you're doing, it can be into IT, it can be into brokerage, it can be in real estate, it can be even passing on a skill, depending on how they vary from early to medium in terms of commercializing on these particular ones. The last is risk. I believe there's no risk on this one. Start small, make your mistakes, and use those mistakes to correct and perfect and grow your business. Very important. Starting small is very important. Secondly, always professionalize your business. Even though we talk about the Rolex business, don't think about it the usual way. Be able to look at your business professionally. Take that, because it brings in money, give it a touch of professionalism. So as I sign out, I'd like to say, my friends, it has been a pleasure talking to you today. I think it has been a very exciting session. Please don't fail to forget to subscribe, click the like button and as well the notification button, so that at the end of the day, whenever we release a video, you are the first one to know. So please don't forget to do that. I'll end with a quote. Give us feedback on some of the businesses that you think maybe we have left out. The first 2 people that give us their feedback will definitely win themselves a book. And as I sign out, I say stay grinding, stay hustling, and keep it Afrobiz.